blanc ici en plus. Blue.
Here, excellent connection. Yeah, so hopefully we are back. We are back in the streams to start. The race has just started. We can see that Grant Skareckas is in the lead. So he was able to keep his lead in the first corners. We have a big traffic with a lot of cars in the straight that are overtaking each other. But I think in the first three positions we don't have any big changes. So Grant Skareckas is still first, Rayleigh on the second, and would be on the third place. Then we have Remy Papin that I think has climbed up a few places, and Jardier also right now in the position number 6. So very close to Remy Papin. So yeah, it will be really interesting to see, because I think for one of the Bentley's problems is the straight line max speed, and I think that shouldn't be a problem for the Lexus. So let's see how it works out, and I think it will be really interesting also in this straight, because we can see that Riley is still quite close to Grant Skareckas, and if he will be able to be that close, let's see what will be in the straight, because I think Ferrari should be a bit better in the max speed compared to the Ford Mustang. So let's see. The thing of, let's say, from my experience driving the Ferrari, is that let's say the problem is that it's not that much of slipstream. But here we can see that Riley is doing a great job on maintaining, let's say, the distance and trying to stay as close as he can. Because at the start of the straight, Mustang for sure will go away, because its acceleration for Mustang is much better than for the Ferrari. But at the end of the straight, the Ferrari should come closer. But we can see that it's coming closer. But I think it will be not enough. So let's say in this battle between the Ferrari and Mustang, it seems that Mustang has a quite, let's say, better acceleration at the start of the straight, and then Ferrari is not able to get back to it. And we have in the first, let's say, we have a few pairs of the drivers driving together and fighting each other. So you can see Grant Skareckas in the front, then Riley following him, then we have a bit more of a gap. Then we have Budby in the Lexus, and Harteveld very closely following to him. Then we have once again some gap, and then we have Jardier that climbed up already for the 5th place. And I'm pretty sure that was the thing, that at the straight Lexus was much faster than the Bentley, and that's where he overtook him. So the last lap, see the best and the last lap for Grant Skareckas, 1:53.1. So basically he's 1.2 seconds slower right now than he was in the qualification. I think for this race, the drivers shouldn't have that much of fuel in the car, so I think it should go faster. It should go faster and faster, because for this race, we have a 60-minute race with fully dry conditions, with one mandatory pit stop and with mandatory tire change. So basically, that means that most probably all of the drivers will drive a half fuel, or the split fuel strategy. So that basically means that I don't know if for example, for the Ferrari in this track, I would say you need around 95-96 liters per race. So basically, the drivers are starting with 48, maybe even a bit less, and then they're refueling the other half when they are changing the tires. Because for those who haven't driven that much in the ACC simulator. Basically, when you are changing the tires, it's let's say by the default it's 30 seconds of pit stop, and you can almost fill the fuel tank in these 30 seconds. So basically, if you change the tires, it means that you can add as much fuel as you can. And yeah, we can still see that Rally is very close to the Grand Skareckis, and he's let's say waiting for smallest mistake from him. Of course, it's really, I would say it's really hard, except the start finish straight or really big mistake from Skareckis. It would be quite hard for Rally to overpass, because let's say to pass Skareckis, because the acceleration of Ford Mustang is much faster. So basically, even with the small mistake, Skareckis will still be able to maintain the faster acceleration compared to the Ferrari. So yeah, it will be really hard. But let's see. I think Riley right now is doing a great job. So here we will be able to see we can see that Jardier is coming closer to the Chris Harteveld, and here we will be able to see the Lexus versus Ferrari, because we have a Ferrari in the middle and one Lexus in the front, one at the end, at the back. So let's see which of the cars are faster at the top speed. We can see that either the Jardier has a much better let's say exit, but it seems that Harteveld is also losing time, so that's mostly because of the Lexus acceleration, most probably. But as you can see at the end, at the end of the straight still, so it's still at the max speed. Lexus is still the same as the Ferrari, so it means that Lexus is a really good car for this track because of the acceleration, and also because it has quite good top speed. So, and that's why we have in the top 4 we have 2 Lexus right now. And if in the qualification at one point I was saying that we have 6 Ferraris in the top 10, so we can see that right now in the top 10 we have only 4 Ferraris. We have 2 Lexus, 2 Bentleys, 1 McLaren, and 1 Ford, meaning that it's still 6 different or 5 different manufacturers, but few of them with a few cars in the top 10. And we can also see that the driver driving an Audi right now is in the 12th position. So then we have one more, let's say, manufacturer, and we can see in the list on the left we can see that we have also Porsche. Oh no, we have that's the Huracan. The Lamborghini Huracan on the 21st, and a few Aston Martins on the 22nd and the 23rd. So we have quite a lot of different cars in the tier 1, and yeah, at least I haven't seen in the top 22. We can't see any driver with a BMW, but there should be few at least. So yeah, seeing the, let's say, the list of the drivers that's registered to the season, so we can see also 1 Honda driving Aston Martin. Yes, we have a few Audis. Yes, we have 1 more Honda. Yeah, yeah, we have at least 2 BMWs. We have 1 Nissan. Also, yeah, so we have quite a lot of different cars. That from the first glance, I would say that I can't see any Mercedes in the tier 1. So yeah, that's interesting. So we have a lot of different cars, and that's because of the BOP, the custom BOP that we are using. So basically, in each track, the cars have a different weights, or the additional weights put in the cars to let's say to align the cars, so they are let's say they're performance is as close as it could be. So basically we have as good racing as we can be, and the driver driving every car could be as fast as they could be. Of course, as I said, so it differs from the track to track, and then also from the corner to corner and straight from straight. And that's really interesting that the Remy Papin with the Bentley was really closing in the Ferrari at the end. So most probably he has a really low wing, or maybe he has just removed it, but we see it in the stream. So yeah, this is a really big fight for the third position. We have 4 cars involved. So Budby on the third position right now, losing 2 seconds to the Riley that is on the second. And then we have Jaroslav Honzik or Jardier right now on the 4th position. And then we have Harteveld right now in the 5th position. And Remy Papin is 6th. So basically they're all in 1 second. So they're really close to each other, and let's see what will happen in the start, not in the start, but in the big straight here. And yeah, right now in the 9th position we can see Torelli. So maybe we can get back to the fight on the top 3 right now. Yeah, and here we can see the Riley driving. In the 2nd position, yeah, we can see that yeah, we have yeah some technical issues. So we have Riley right now on the second position, very close to Grantas Kareckas. So he's losing only 2/10. And it's still I would say it's still the same old problem with the Ferrari 296. Say lacking the acceleration. So it's as I said previously, so it's really hard even with the smaller mistake from Kareckas. The acceleration for the Mustang is that good, so it's really hard. But if they're driving that close to each other, so basically it will go till the pit line, and then in the pit line, of course. So it could be really tight, and each half of the second, let's say, and when you are not stopping into the right position, or you misalign, or you don't start the engine, or you don't turn off the engine at the right time, so basically that could change also in this fight. So of course drivers of this level have prepared themselves, and they have driven a lot, so they should know how to do the perfect pit stop. But of course also for the best ones, sometimes there are some problems. Yeah, so let's see. So yeah, as you can see, it's let's say the same story each lap. So before the start lane, Mustang is getting a lot better acceleration and going forward, and then at the end of the straight, Ferrari is coming closer and closer, and then basically on the corner, Riley is almost already in the back of Kareckas. We can see how close the drivers are driving in this corner, and I'm pretty sure that Budby has at least 2 warnings right now, because it's already 2nd time when we are seeing when he's driving off the track in the corner after the big straight. So he will need to be careful. But of course, let's say you don't want to take the track cuts, because if you have three warnings, so that's the maximum that you can get, and if you're getting the 4th one, then you're getting a drive-through penalty basically, and nobody is willing to to have it in this tight race. But at the same time, when you have 4 cars in the train, you also don't want to brake, and because you will most probably let 3 drivers ahead of you. So that's why Budby is, let's say, is taking the second cut, but still keeping the lead of that pack of the drivers. But let's see how it will work out, because it's let's say 2 warnings in the 16 minutes is already quite tricky. So hopefully he will not get the 3rd one, because after the 3rd one you need to be very cautious, because I had one league last week on the same Paul Ricard circuit. So basically I was, for 30 minutes I was trying to catch the 3rd position. I was in the 4th, and I did it in the last lap, and I had the 3 warnings, and I got the 4th one and the drive-through in the last lap, and I was able to overtake the guy in this big straight. So I was in 3rd position, but I needed to go into the drive-through because of the race, because of the 4 track cuts. So yeah, you need to be really careful, and for sure you don't want to get the 3rd cut, because then it's a really tight line on that, if you are getting the 4th one or not, if you need to brake a bit to not get it. So yeah, it's really important to not get 3 at least till the last lap, and then you're a bit more free. So yeah, we can see that Riley just did 152 no, it's the best time for him. Last one is 153.1.3, so that's around a second slower than in the qualification. And that's quite interesting, because if the drivers were doing 152.1.2 in the qualification, then say right now, also after the 12 minutes, let's say, remaining in the first half, in the first stint, it should be okay. Most probably the problems is with the tires. So the tires are not holding that good already, because they shouldn't have more than, let's say, 20 liters of the fuel left. So it should be quite a good, let's say, weight of the car to make very fast times. But most probably also the difference of the setups. But we can see here the Jardier is really close and closing into Budby, but no, at the end he's not able to get that close, so he can overtake. So yeah, and then we can see that Remy Papin has took the 5th place from the Harteveld. So that's also interesting thing, and then he's coming closer to the Jardier. But yeah, it's I think that the Bentley and the Lexus, both of the cars, has quite good acceleration. So let's see if, how that will sort out this fight. And we can see that as soon as the Jardier was able to get really close, and then he maybe needed to brake a bit more to not get into the Budby's back, and then he lost some time. And as you can see, Remy Papin is already at the back of the Jardier's car, really close. So yeah, you can see those guys are really, let's say, drawing millimeters on the each corner to get the maximum out of it. And we can see that Congretel is getting a 5-second, no, it's a 10-second penalty. I will check in the race control right now, so I can tell you more what happened, what happened, and what was the, let's say, reason for it. Yeah, we can see that on the first lap there was incident between the cars number 17 and number 69, and the 10-second penalty is let's say awarded, or let's say the car number 17 got the 10-second penalty and so then no further actions for the car number 69. And then it also, let's say, the comment is that the stewards conclude that while 17 had no vision of the incident in the front, car 17 should have anticipated their throttle application on that, as cars are close, as they could see the car 69 sliding. So yeah, and then we have one more inquiry of 3 cars, number 11, 90, oh no, yeah, even 4 cars, 11, 95, 155 and 555. And the car number 93 is awarded with 25-second time penalty and also got the 3 license points, including 1 lap for lap 1. Yeah, so that's driver number 95, Barnabas Fazekas. So yeah, we can see very tight, let's say, racing and tight fights here right now in the middle of the pack. So maybe Jānis, it's the time to went through all of the drivers, as we had some stream problems, so we didn't went through all of the drivers from the first till the last one right now on the grid. So maybe we should do it. So we are let's say showing each driver that is driving here in the tier 1 in this race. So here we can see.
Yeah, sure, Martins. Yeah, so again, oh, you have not heard me through the stream. It's because I've been trying to fight the system. Well, my computer and the streaming application, but unfortunately I'm not able to make it work. In the meantime, we see that there's a great battle between Karetskis and Riley. However, as Martin just said, we can go through everyone that we had racing and participating in the Tier 1 this season. Starting with Grantas Karetskis, number 19, then Jonathan Riley, number 50, George Boothby with number 800, Jaroslav Honzik, number 39, Remy Appel, number 6, Chris Harteveld, number 57, Lucas Congratel, number 17, Luke Whitehead, number 55, Robin Torelli, number 713 or 713, Alexander Kniazhitsin, number 38, Matteo Piccolo, number 885, Alejandro Perez, number 111, Samir Boch, number 888, Chris Southcott, number 316, Alexander Luboslavsky, number 398, Adam Radek, number 64, Alex Knudsen, number 42, Fabien Bouliot, hopefully I didn't butcher that, number 97, Joe McLaren, number 1, Adrien Antomarchi, number 13, Gaston Delerba, number 16, Christer Spodans, number 69, Davy Hill, number 555, Nico Kumpu, number 255, Nicholas Lefloch, or Floch, number 915, Munier Kabir, 227, Jonathan Clifford, number 999, Joe Dauber, number 37, Benjamin King, number 43, Ivan Borimechko, number 2, Barnabas Fazekas, number 95, and here we see a big battle and a touch from DOR, number 917, and Nathan Pierce, number 74. Then we have Axel Ramonnier with number 777, Simon Kubatsky, number 966, Miguel Silverio, number 155, Raitis Kazlauskas, number 3. Ilke Wandermeer, number 11. JR Lock-and-Load Jr. 212. And last but not least, Josh Waring, number 34. Yeah. I feel like someone has maybe disconnected, but hopefully we at least now finally went through the list, and yeah, now we will know who we have racing this season. Now we can go back to the hard racing that is happening between Grantas Karetskis and Jonathan Riley. I mean, as long as I've been back in here with my setup, I did notice with my corner of an eye that these two have been fighting here for a long time, and as Mārtiņš mentioned, it's as close as it can be, and maybe the car differences here does help a little bit Karetskis because of the difficulties for the Ferrari to pass. But yeah.
Yeah. When you were going through the list of the drivers, I see a few things that I want to, let's say, highlight. The first thing, in the list of on the list of the cars, we can see that Sir Foch is driving the Ferrari, but he's driving a 488. So let's say, I think all the others Ferrari means that it's Ferrari 296, right? So as for Jonathan Riley that we can see right now. But yeah, the Sir Foch is driving with the 488, so the old generation GT3 Ferrari, and he's a really big fan of that car. And as the AOR is getting let's say the BOP for it, so it's still possible to drive competitive with that car with the BOP, and so he's using that let's say opportunity. So that's a really rare let's say choice of the car. One thing that I saw that we have a driver with the surname McLaren, and he's driving with Ferrari. So that's also some kind of controversial thing, I think. So, so yeah, and then we had also Godzilla right on the grid. That's with Kubatski driving it. So yeah, it's really interesting and really different cars we were able to see. And the thing is also, when we went through the cars and through the grid, they were fighting in almost every let's say the car. When we moved to another car, there was once again car in the front or in the side. So there's a lot of fights in the race. But yeah, we can see that Karetskis and Riley is made some gap from the boot B. So right now you can see it's 4/10 that Riley is losing to Karetskis, but we can see that 4/10 is basically nothing in this case. It's like by few car lengths in the corners. It's less in the straights. Of course, the Mustang has a better acceleration, so let's say the gap is a bit bigger. And yeah, and then we have Budby is losing 4.5 seconds basically to Riley, and then Jardier is quite close, and also Remy Papin is quite close. I think we had Concretal, right? That was really close. No, not Concretal, but there was one more driver that was with the Ferrari. But he most probably went to the pits, so he should be one of the first ones that have pit already. So of course, as we have mandatory tire change, the drivers will do a different, let's say, strategies on when to choose when to swap the tires. Because if there are some drivers that think that there's not that big, let's say, tire wear, then you can go for the undercut and do the pit stop faster. But it really differs also from the place where are you in the track. If there are any opponents that are you think that are slowing you down, or things. So it's yeah, it really depends from driver to driver on what to choose. And regarding the stewarding, so yeah, I forgot to mention that we have live stewarding, and that's also how the drivers get some penalties. And for those ones that have the penalty, the first, let's say, in the first stint before the pit stops. So basically, they will serve their penalty in time of the pit stop. So if they will have a 30-second tire change, they will stand for 30 seconds for tire change and 25 seconds more for the penalty. So let's say if you get the penalty till the pit, you will have, let's say, the penalty served in the pit stop. If you will get it afterwards, probably it will be put, not most probably, but it will be put, let's say, for your end result. So we can see also that the drivers from the first places are getting into the pit stops. We saw Remy Papin, we saw Budby, we saw Honzik, the Jardier, all three in the pit stop. And yes, here's the Chris Harteveld, what I was saying, that is the driver who went into the pits before, so he was fighting for the third position, and we can see that he's right now with the fastest time on this session.
Yeah, he's clearly the fastest on sector 3. Sorry, yeah, but he's the only one who has got it in 49s so far.
So that basically means that he's he hasn't got that much of the fuel, so it's around maybe 40 liters that he needs till end of the race, but the new tires are really helping, and he has a free track in front of him. So let's see, it's an interesting moment when he's and he's getting back his fourth position. I think where he was before he was overtook by those few guys, and it's once again, I think it's somewhere similar as from the start, right? Because I think Harteveld was in front of Papin, and also Remy Papin was in front of Jardier. So it's there once again into the switch position. So let's see, it will be interesting. And here, if I would say it's quite hard for Bentley to overtake Ferrari, especially if the Bentley is not that close. So I think that maybe at, let's say, a few seconds still Bentley will come closer, but at one point the Ferrari will start to go away because of the max speed. So yeah, we can see that Remy Papin is still getting closer and closer. Yeah, it should be at this moment, I think, when yes, and we can see that the Bentley is at one point it started, let's say, to slow down a bit because of the max speed. But let's see, it will be a really good battle here. And for what's in the race lead right now, so we can see that Grantas Kareckas has been into the pits and he's in the 8th position, but. And yeah, we have a Riley right now in the pit, so that will be an interesting, I would say, also situation. So which of them will be?
Riley's coming out right now, and we see that Kareckas is running by and with full speed, and I feel like the gap has widened a little bit. They were very close the whole time, and yeah, now it's immediately around 1.5 seconds there. So. A bit of a loss after staying a bit longer outside. We'll see if maybe he can warm up his tires and then go for a later push at the very end to close the gap. So at the moment, Kareckas has gained a bit of a breathing room. So let's see how this develops.
Yeah, we also can see that we have 2 more penalties coming in. So it's Christers Podans. He has a 5-second penalty for for the inquiry involving his car and car number 222 on lap 3, and then also car number 222 Ferry Schrader is getting 20-second penalty for collision with the car number 212, sorry. So basically in one of the incidents, the Ferry Schrader was the one who got took out, and then he did it, he on the lap number 4, he took out another car. So yeah, it happens in the racing.
And now we see that the 2 cars of Kniazhitsin and Perez who stayed out longer are in the pits and are about to be overtaken by the leaders. And in the meantime, we see that Grantas Kareckas has just just pushed the bar a little higher and yeah, set a new fastest lap of the session with 1:52.617. So solid, if I'm not mistaken, solid 2/10 over Chris Harteveld. Yeah, so he's not only gained a little bit of time after the box over Riley, but also is now in push mode. So clearly putting a statement now at the late stage of the race. Yeah, in the meantime, was as you mentioned, you were waiting for the moment when Remy Popin will go for Chris Harteveld, and I feel like we now have this moment, though it did look like Chris Harteveld took the defensive line and also Boothby at the front, but yeah, let's say sort of the weakness of the Bentley with the limited top speed at the very end is probably where he lost his chances once he was out of the slip. So
as we had some racing last week in the Paul Ricard, so we did some, let's say, checks regarding the top speed for the cars, and if the Ferrari with the wing 1, I think, was able to do around 294 kilometers per hour, but that wing 1 is really tricky because you can't make the corner before, and maybe even in the slipstream maybe even a bit more than 290 something. Then I think for the Bentley it was 283 or 284. That was the limiter basically. So that's a quite big difference. Of course, I don't think that Harteveld is driving with wing 1. Because it's really crazy to drive with Ferrari with the wing 1, because there are corners also in this track. There's also not only the straights. Yeah, but still, I think that let's say the maximum speed difference should be more than 5 kilometers per hour between the Bentley and between Ferrari.
we are seeing some good midfield battles here. A group of 6 cars, all within less than half second, 0.4 between each. So waiting for the best moment, probably on the straight when one of them breaks the toe, and then maybe the other one or the third car in the row to use it to get a pass. But of course, when you have this train going, it's not always so easy, and the chances of someone breaking the toe is also less. But here we do have a fight between Gurlio and Luboslavski, and then we see that Luboslavski did go wide, and that has cost him a little bit of time, and also probably he got an off track, and Fabien Gurlio has used that to gain a position at the end of the straight.
Yeah, so as Jan, you should have the data, so maybe you can share the max speeds of each of the cars or each of the driver. I think that would be quite interesting of the check. So which of the cars has made the maximum
the top speed this evening is for Chris Harteveld, 294 kmh, and then the interesting thing is that if you look at Kareckas, his top is 284, so a whole 10 less. So he's... Yeah, so
basically but the thing is that Kareckas has never,
he has never been in a tow. So that's of course true. But for the rest of the pack, I do still see some cars who have 285, for example, Ramonier, and I think he has spent a lot of the time in the pack. Of course, at the moment, he isn't. I don't think he's getting any tow from the front. However, Southcott is definitely getting, and he's now already side by side with him, and we will have to see if he's brave enough to send it till the end, or at the same time is Ramonier gonna try to go outside and keep it within the lines. We see that he's going over the curb, but he kept it within the track limits. However, Southcott has gained a position.
Yeah, so you said that the Ferrari is 280 something? The max
I mean,
speed
particularly
for
Ramonier is 285, but if we look at Congratel, he's 289. Whitehead has posted a 291. So I think it depends.
He's driving a really low wing then, because no, the high, let's say, not low, because for the Ferrari to have 283, so it should be a really interesting setup, I would say, because yeah, to get 290 with the Ferrari in the dry conditions, it should be doable, especially when I think the drivers in the midfield should be in the tow in some moments. Yeah, but
And
I think we have a first driver with the drive-through, right?
Exactly. We also have this mentioned in the chat. Someone already caught it, and Munier Kabir is the first driver who has gotten too many track limit hits, and yeah, so he has to do a drive-through. In the meantime, as we talked about earlier, and Karetska's big push, he is still on it. Another 152.6 last lap, and that has brought up the gap to 5.6 seconds at this rate. So on the screen you still see a 3.2, but that is because of the lap before, but at the moment it's already up to close to 6 seconds, so he's absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, at one point I was willing to say that Riley has some problems, but then seeing that the Hartwald is let's say 4 seconds back, so basically that gap is still almost the same. But
no,
yeah,
it has also dropped. It's down to 2 seconds. I said it will update now in a bit. I'm seeing directly in the data. So yeah, it's either that Riley does have some issues, or did have a bit of a slide or something through the last lap. But yeah, so that has definitely earned a bigger gap on the side of Karetskis, and maybe has opened chances for Harteveld and the whole pack behind him of Boothby, Papin, and Jadir. So I think all of these guys are looking forward to that. Getting on the podium, of course, is always a lot more beneficial than being just outside of it.
That's a really good thing for Hartwell, that he was able to overtake Boothby, and right now it seems that also he has a quite big gap, let's say, for the start finish, not start finish, but the big straight. So I think it will be quite hard for Boothby to overtake him, but let's see. And let's see if that's something let's say bad with the tires, or with setup, or with something for Riley, or it was really one mistake, because he lost, I think, more than 2 seconds basically in that lap.
Well, we
so, yeah.
just heard that Boothby lifted at the end of the straight, so it did seem like he has maybe a chance to do a late lunge, but of course it would have been very ambitious, so I think he's just trying to stay as close as possible to try to do it on the next lap on the straight.
Yeah, but I think one thing we need to take in account that at least for me it seems that Boothby has at least 2 track cuts, so most probably it's not getting in his favor right now, because that's of course driving off track to overtake is not a good thing, right? But still, yeah, it's if you can somewhere push a bit more to have a bit more speed, for example, for that big straight, it's I would say really important, because we saw how let's say small margin he was missing to be able to dive inside, and for sure if that would be the last lap he will most probably do it, but not let's say when we have 7 or 8 laps left still in the race. So let's see. There's once again we are into the big straight, so let's see how it will sort out this time.
Yeah.
And
I think it's honestly a little bit annoying for Remy Papin, because it looks like he's able to stay actually through most of the lap, just behind Boothby, but because Boothby is also getting the slip from Harteveld, it's difficult. However, now it's side by side, and the inside is on the Boothby side, and yeah, as we see, they're still right next to each other. I think there was a slight contact. Now Harteveld has gone a little wide, another touch, and he's pushed out. Now there's probably another chance to come back, and I think that's a little bit of a frustration coming out there. A little bit ambitious, and I think Harteveld just throw directly into the doors. I think that's something for the stewards to look at, but yeah, unfortunately tough for Chris, and I honestly don't even see anymore. I think he has dropped from the session. No, never mind. He has just my data switched for a second. He has dropped to P6, 4.5 seconds behind Yardir. So unless something happens at the front, this is probably where he ends up at. Well, what has changed now is that the battle for P3 is now between Boothby, Papin, and Yardir, with Boothby being in front, though what we just saw is definitely something that has to be reviewed, whether it was Chris driving just himself into Boothby, or was it him, let's say, blocking a little bit. So this could come in the favor of Remy after the, let's say, investigation.
But the one that's really in the favor of all of this for sure is Riley, because he's getting a 3.5 second gap right now for till the Boothby. So after that, most probably mistake what he made, and then lost 2 seconds. So he's able with all of these fights in the back of his car, so he had able to build almost 2 times bigger gap, so from 2 seconds to 3.4 seconds. And as we have 6 laps remaining, if there's no any, let's say, big problems, then I don't think that they will be able to catch the Riley, especially if they will need to fight each other. But let's see. So that's why it's a really interesting battle, let's say, all the time. And sorry for those ones that maybe are following some drivers in the 20, 13 or 35th position and have a good fight, but we have only one stream, so it's quite hard. And if the guys are fighting for the podium positions, quite hard all the time. So then we are following, but we can see a quite good fight also here.
Yeah, we see that Alejandro has been putting pressure on Southcott, so they did switch places before, and feel like this battle has not ended. And you also have Knudsen sitting right behind them, waiting for an opportunity. So it does feel like any moment here we will also see some moves happen. Also, at the same time, we see here a battle between 2 Latvians, Sirfoč and Kristers Podans for P16, with having Joe McLaren sitting right behind him as well, probably waiting for them to make a mistake here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think in the qualification, Sirfoč was higher, and also at the start of the race. So maybe the 488 is not the best, let's say, the car for the Paul Ricard circuit. Yeah, and here we can see how close Bentley is getting into those, let's say, a bit slower corners. But when it comes to the straight, when there's, let's say, the best opportunity to overtake, it's really hard. And yeah, Remy will need to in the last laps. I think he will try to go inside somewhere because he's really close to Woodby. But yeah, Lexus is really fast.
Yeah, he's been sitting in his tail for a long time, and he's been able to keep the gap very low. So to me, he's just waiting for that one moment to strike, that one little slide that might happen at any moment. Because as you said, it is difficult to pass Lexus on the straight, but something has changed. So before, Chris Hartwell was ahead of Boothby, so that did give him the slip all the time, and now it doesn't. So we will see if he's able now to get close enough, though we see that Boothby is keeping a defensive line here, so Papin will have to go wide through here, and we see that, I mean, yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough. Boothby is able to get the ideal line at the end of the straight, and we go for another lap of this.
Yeah, and at the same time we're having a few more inquiries also on the first lap that just needed to have a more investigation. So basically an inquiry involving cars 43, 69 and 220 on the first lap. So then the Christers Pudens has got 5 more seconds to his penalty. He had a 5 before, right now it's 10. Then there are few inquiries that are, let's say, that will not have any more, let's say, no further actions. And then it's a 15-second time penalty for car 917, so door. And then we have 2 more coming in.
In the meantime, we see that there's well, a big train here starting from P23 up to P28 with Clifford Hill, Antomarchi, Kazlauskas and Kumpu all sitting in each other's tails. As we see or saw at the end of the straight, there was a move coming out of Hill, but it got a little bit dicey there on the entrance. However, they did keep their cars on the road at the end, so it is getting a little bit spicy here. So we'll see what happens on the next try. As we see that Kazlauskas now is sitting in the bumper of Antomarchi, and with the power of the Beamer, I could see that he goes for a move now as well. Because as I said, a little bit of the bunching up at the end of the straight and the previous lap has pushed all of these guys together. So I'm waiting for another try, at least from someone here. And as I'm saying, Kumpu is trying to go for the wide line. However, Kazlauskas has put his car in a sort of good position, just outside of the line, so it's difficult for Kumpu to stay there. And in the meantime, we see that Hill and Antomarchi is fighting for P26, and there's a bit of a contact, and Kazlauskas has hit the back of Antomarchi, and he's out. Yeah, so the lap before, Hill went for a move, it didn't work out, they were close, and then this time it sort of did, but yeah, again they bunched up and there was a contact from Kazlauskas.
Yeah, and one more thing that I'm seeing right now in the board, we see that for the Chris Hartwell, at one point you said that when he was in 6th position that he will stay there, but right now I can see that he's already in a 19th position. So
he had to drive through.
Yeah, so he has lost a lot of position with that one, because and that's, let's say, the good example how close the grid is. it's, let's say, not the 20 cars in the one train for sure, but as soon as you're getting some problem or you're getting a drive-through, for example, you're losing 10 positions straight away. So yeah, it's really important to, let's say, stay on the track and not make any track cuts, at least not more than 3. So let's see, and we have bit more than 4 minutes remaining right now, and as the guys, let's say the leaders, are already on the start finish line, I would say that we'll have 3 more laps. So it's 3 more laps to be ahead of someone.
And yeah, in the meantime, we see the battle that we talked about earlier of Southcott and Alejandro Perez, McLaren and Ferrari, and at the end of the straight there was a move and then an immediate switchback from Southcott, and while I'm saying this, it happened again. Perez was able to come back through this combination of the turns, and it feels like Southcott will have to try again. So they have a private battle going on with Knudsen still sitting behind of them, and now Ramonier joining as well. So I feel like this is another exciting battle here, and we will probably have a culmination at the end. We already had a good moment now, but I feel like all of the drivers are eager there, and even more so I feel like Knudsen, he's been sitting behind of them for a long time. So I don't think he will want to stay there for much longer.
Yeah, I was willing to say that Ramone it has a Ferrari, so it should be a good advantage in the start.
And there's a contact. There's a bit of a jump on the curb from Knudsen, and as I said, I feel like he doesn't want to stay there for longer. This is probably not the way he wanted, nor anyone wanted. However, he did get a little too close, and unfortunately Southcott is pushed out of the track, which however does give a bit of a breather for Alejandro Perez, because he's been in a battle with Southcott for a good while now.
Yeah, so it's two laps remaining. Very unfortunate, but that's the, let's say, that's the risk of a really close racing, especially if you're in a train with a lot of different drivers involved. Because if the front driver is braking a bit, so the second needs to brake a bit more, also unexpectedly for the third or for the fourth one, and that's, let's say, the big, the small accidents happen, and sometimes if you, let's say, push the car in the back when the car is straight, it should be, let's say, nothing major, but when the car is turning and then, or either on the brakes or on the full gas and turning, it's really dangerous, and that's what we saw also here. So it's just a little bit of a touch, but still it's still enough to let's say, to spin the car out of the track. And here we can see that Jardir is getting, well, is in the front of
Papin. He has passed him.
Yeah.
I do see that in chat we have one of the followers saying that Papin was P3 for a moment. Apparently, we missed this while watching the battle between Perez and Southcott. However, at the moment he's down to P5, so I don't know what happened. Probably maybe at the end of this straight, but somehow he's dropped from P3 to P5, and Jardir is now looking at a way to pass Boothby for P3.
Yeah, and as we are really close to the last
However,
lap.
we see that I see that Boothby did slow down a little bit in the middle of the turn, which made Boothby slow down as well, and this gave an opportunity for Papin to go on the inside, and then there was a contact when going through the next turn, and another one outside of this one. So and we see a nice view here from the spoiler, how they're both fighting there for position, with they're picking a very defensive line going into the last turn, still defending here, and there's one more lap to go. I think Boothby is happy seeing this battle behind of him, because there's just one lap to go, and it's likely that those two guys are now gonna battle out for P4. But we have a great view to see what's going on behind of Budby.
Yeah, and we see that the time has ended already for some time. That means only one thing, that we are on the last lap. And so the Grand Skarecka is still leading. It's well, quite, let's say, quite a big gap already from him and Rayleigh, but also Budby has lost, let's say, time to Rayleigh. So yeah, the last time we're going through the straight.
Yeah, well, this is probably the battle to see now. We already saw the contacts earlier on the previous lap. We see that Papin is trying to get on the outside line, but the top speed is just not there when he goes out of the toe. Let's see if he's able to keep a close line. And however, we see that Yarder has went very wide. He has gone outside of the track, and this has given an opportunity for Papin to pass him for free. Now let's see if there's a drive-through for Yarden. At least nothing is showing up at the moment, so probably no. However, passing Papin now is going to be very difficult. It's almost too ambitious, and it has to be a lunge at the last turn, and I don't think it happens. In the meantime, we see that Kareckas has won the race with an outstanding race, and especially the second part of the race when he was just faster, purely faster. And then we see that Jonathan Riley has finished second, and Boothby is finishing third, and Papin has ended it in fourth, with Yardir finishing in fifth. Kongratel in sixth, Whitehead seventh, Niezhitsin got close, but not enough, stayed eighth, Torelli ninth, and Piccolo ends the top 10. And here we also had the battle between Perez and Ramounier, 11th and 12th, Knudsen finished 13th, Emil Foch 14th, Joe McLaren 15th, South Scott 16th, Gouliot 17th, Woodance 18th, Harteveld finished 19 after the mishaps in the race, and Luboslavsky finishes in 20th position. Belarba 21, Kubatsky 22, Clifford 23, Lefloc 24, Kozlauskas 25th, Kumpu 26th, King 27, Radek 28, Hill 29th, Boremechkov in P30, Antomarchi 31st, Wandermeer 32nd, DOR or Door 34th, Pierce 33, and then now the positions are already changing around, so difficult to tell, but well, almost went through the whole field. Either way, great race from Kareckas, good battle in the beginning for until the boxes. We had a great battle between Kareckas and Riley, and then it feels like he got the right tires on with the ideal PSIs, and yeah, he was just quicker in the second part of the race. But Martins, do you think we will have to go into some interviews, right?
Yeah. So I already prepared, let's say, and asked for those three guys to join us in the in the commentary booth, so we can ask questions how the race went. I think for the top two it will be not that much to tell, but for Budby it will be quite a lot of things. And the interesting thing, what I'm checking right now, is that first I thought that maybe there's some kind of race results already put in, but maybe that's from the qualification, because right now, before the first round, when I'm checking the tier 1 standings in the Apex Online Racing website, I'm seeing that Grantas Kareckas is on the first place, Jonathan Riley on the second, and George Budby on the third. So basically that was meant to be this three, because that's not from these results, because I can see that Luke Whitehead is the fourth, and Chris Harteveld is fifth. So basically that means that it's not the newest results. So but yeah, so in the standings we will have the same guys as it is right now. Before the first round we will have those same top 3 also. After the results will be entered in the first round. So yeah, that's a really interesting coincidence, or maybe that's because of the quali results. So then those were also the fastest guys for the hot stints. But no, I'm checking right now, and we can see that no, it isn't like that. So the Luke Whitehead was the fastest in the hot stint, and Grantas Karetskas was on the 2nd position.
And let's see that we have the winners joining the interview booth, so we will get on with them in a second. Just a moment, and to me it looks like all of them have joined, right? So
I think only one of them, at least. At least from the we have right now I can see that the Grantas has also joined. We have Jonathan Riley, but I don't think we have a.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, we have only Riley from the top 3. Well, either way.
We have
Karetskas as well. Yes. We have now Karetskas. Never mind. So maybe we can
wait for George Budby, no?
Or we can maybe start, since we have already Karetskas. We can just start.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to go from 1st to 3rd, or from 3rd?
No, I wanted to go all together, but. So let's see. Let's give 30 seconds more for George Budby to join, and then let's put those 2 drivers that have joined, basically. But yeah, really interesting start of the season with a lot of let's say fights, and then the close racing, and of course. In the Paul Ricard, you can see how, let's say, different the cars are, and whereas each of the cars is, let's say, better. Okay, so I don't think that for now, at least, we don't see that George Budby is joining. So let's start, I think, with the Grantas Karetskas and Jonathan Riley, as they had their fight, let's say, in the first half of the race. So let's ask for them how they are doing.
Pitbox. Oh,
hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congrats, Grantas.
So yeah, maybe you can shortly describe the race from your point of view. We saw that at the start it was really close, and before the pits it was quite close. But then Jonathan, you felt or you lost the pace somewhere, or then you had some mistake and you lost 2 seconds in one round, one lap. So yeah, maybe you can shortly, Grantas, you can start, and then Jonathan, you can continue on how your race went.
Yeah, as I said, it was pretty close. First half of the race, I was trying to make no mistakes, try to stay as consistent as possible, because Jonathan was very fast in the first stint. He was over on the back of me all the entire stint. So yeah, I had to think something about the strategy, maybe like undercutting, overcutting. And then I saw there was a free gap on the track. So when I rejoined, there's no cars on the track wherever I joined. So yeah, I decided to pit earlier, and then yeah, it paid off. Undercut was real nice, gained some time, and yeah, the pace was just amazing. I was actually really surprised how could I make the car so quick in that second stint. But yeah, still very positive race and very good one.
Yeah, this is exactly what we talked about. So it feels like there was one race until the box, and then just a completely different set of tires or something for the second stint. But yeah, great to see. So And then maybe a different question to Jonathan. How your comments from the first part of the race until the boxes, and how you felt after?
Yeah, I mean, first stint, I got a great start. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Axel to sort of, go a little bit too wide and sort of pendulum off. But yeah, I managed to stick onto the back of the four, which was pretty nice. Yeah, so that kind of helped me forward to get away from George and the rest of the gang. So it was a sort of like, I'm not gonna go too crazy here. I'm just going to sort of settle myself in and try and grab a nice gap, and then we'll see what happens. My plan was to sort of like overcut a little bit. The only problem with that was Grantas got an insane undercut. So when it went to the box, I actually thought I did a great box, came out, and yeah, I think I lost overall around like a second or something. Which I was like, at the moment I was like, oh my god, I have no idea what's happening. And then I was trying to pick up the pace. The car was sort of, quite slow to sort of pick itself up. And then lap 22 or so, just pooped myself a little around the fast right-hander, turn before I braked. Nearly spanned the car, but managed to recover it. And by that point, I was on free limits, so I went and just went into conservative mode, trying to bring it over in P2, which is a good result. It's a good result.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Sorry, go on,
yeah,
Martin.
sorry. Yep. So then it was really good, let's say, to comparison of the cars. The Polar card is giving us, so we can see what's the advantages and disadvantages of each car, and also the top speed. I think the difference between the Ferrari and the Mustang could be around 10 kilometers per hour, maybe a bit less, and that's what we see in at least at the start of the straight, when Grantas and his Mustang was getting away, and at the end Jonathan's Ferrari was getting closer. So maybe you can have a bit more, let's say, some description on the car and we see that George Budby is joined. So George, congratulations on your third place. So maybe you can tell about your race, and then we can get to the cars.
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, I decided to take the Lexus to have a bit of a laugh and have some fun in this championship, and yeah, that was a really, really fun race. Me and Jānis were just like sort of working together a bit to try and get the most out of the car, and it was just hilarious because it has the most ridiculous straight line speed, and yeah, just like fighting other cars. Like, we're getting hounded on all the corners, and as soon as we get to that straight, we're like missiles. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I think to get a podium out of that, I couldn't have asked for much more, really, to be honest.
Yeah, we saw quite a lot of different, let's say, changes of positions in the fight. We saw that Chris Hartwell was in the third position at once, and then you had some, then you overtook him, and then at one point we saw that, but we missed the, let's say, the time when the Remy Papin got in front of you, and then you overtook him back. So maybe you can tell us something more about those fights.
Yeah, so initially it was a fight with Hartwell, and Hartwell just sent it a bit too hard, and I mean, we were side by side for a while, but then he just sent it a little bit too hard, and I guess he just spun. I'm not quite sure what happened, but yeah. And then with Papin, he never got he never overtook me, but he managed to get like close. And again, it was just the straight line speed was so ridiculous that we were able to always pull away. And Jānis even managed to get ahead of him because of that. We like sort of worked together a little bit there to get to overtake him on the straight. But then unfortunately, Jānis had a bottom out at the end, so Papin managed to get him back. But it was just overall really fun racing, and yeah, good battles all the way through.
Yeah, so and then let's get back to the cars. So we have on the podium we have three different cars. We have a Mustang, we have Ferrari, and we have Lexus. So maybe you can describe why did you choose this particular car for the season?
I mean,
you can start.
Oh, sorry.
Who, sorry?
Grantas, can you start?
Oh yeah. Honestly, I think Mustang in the last few seasons or months have been probably the strongest car in AC. So I thought, like, you know, to give it a little test, to try it out if I'm fast in it, and to see if I can compete with this car in the upcoming championships. So that's why I pick it, to sort of give it as a test and see if I'm good enough in it. And yeah, this round showed that I wasn't bad. So yeah, pretty happy.
Okay, then Jonathan, why Ferrari?
This may come as a shock to my peers, but I did pick the Ferrari because I'm part of the Scuderia Ferrari HB Esports team, so you know it's like a spec series for me. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the advantages of the car, I thought we had good straight line speed. I just watched the replay. The Lexus has like 293 miles, like kilometers per hour on the straight, so that's ridiculous. But yeah, we have decent straight line speed. We also have good fuel economy, as far as I'm aware. So, you know, that's a nice advantage of the car, and also has really good tire wear because it's usually a very good endurance car because of those things. So, yeah, I guess those are the advantages that the Ferrari has over the rest of the field, I'm guessing.
Yeah, each time when I'm speaking to the good drivers, they teach me something new. I'm pretty sure we're calling in Latvia, we're calling the Ferrari the diesel because of the fuel consumption.
What?
But for me, the tire wear is not that good. So
How are you driving the car, man?
yeah, it's really good in the fuel consumption. So it's one of the best, I think. So it's quite nice. So yep. Okay, and then George, what about the Lexus?
I mean, I think as we've all seen over the past 2 or 3 months, the Lexus has been one of the strongest cars in the game. So I just want it to be fun. I just want it to be fun. So, and yeah, it is really fun. That was a really fun race. So yeah, I think each round, like, something different could happen. You know, something crazy could happen. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing that the Bob is still here. So we see a lot of, let's say, the older cars that are still very competitive and getting, let's say, the better and better results. The same with the Bentley and with Lexus, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
That's really nice. Okay, and then shortly, can you tell a bit more about your, let's say, season plans and what are the goals for the season, each of you?
Grant, you first.
Yeah, sure. Just try and finish as high as possible every single race, and yeah, try to get used to the Mustang. And yeah, that's my goal, my main goal, really.
Jonathan, how about you?
Let me see the calendar. Oh yeah, don't need to see it. Win every race, baby.
Real.
That's my goal.
And George, how about you?
I mean, I don't know what he's chatting, because he's saying he's going to win every race when I'm here in a Lexus. So I'm going to be winning every race. I'm going to be winning every race. So.
Okay,
Well, you're off to a bad start.
Making it spicy for the
time.
next one. Let's see who's on top then in a week.
Yeah, that's it. It seems that it will be a really good season for us. And thank you, guys. It was really great interviews at the end, and also really good racing and really good fights. So it was really interesting for us to follow you. So then, yeah, let's see you in the 1 week in the Notch Life. So yeah, it will be a really interesting race.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, to sum up the race, I think it was a really good let's say, the competition. And once again, I wanted to say a big thank you for our Patreon supporters. So we are able to provide you this stream because of your help. So once again, big thank you for our supporters. And once again, I wanted to mention our partner. That is this season, it's Coach Dave Delta. So once again, if you need a setup and data analysis app for iRacing, ACC, Le Mans Ultimate, or even a Gran Turismo 7, so then try the Coach Dave Delta. And yes, so thank you, Jānis, also. So we had a bit of a struggle at the beginning, but that's most probably as each season and something new starts, because. Let's see, this is how it needs to be, but we are improving. So yeah, so then see you. Thank you also spectators, and then see you in 1 week in the Nordschleife.
Yeah, hopefully we fix all the technical issues we have by then, and we can bring a better quality stream in itself. So yeah, until next week, thank you all. Bye.
Bye.